Yes, indeed, the President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, and his wife Sabina arriving here in Croke Park for All-Ireland Camogie final day, getting a presidential salute. A warm welcome indeed for the President, and he will now meet and greet the players who will be involved in the senior camogie final. The President on this particular day, accompanied by the President of the Camogie Association, Kathleen Woods, from County Armagh. It's the responsibility of Shelley Farrell to introduce them all. Emma Kavanagh, Colette Dormer, Catherine Foley. Moving on to Grace Walsh, Claire Phelan, Anne Dalton and Davina Tobin, Anna Farrell, with her sister Megan, Julianne Malone, I should say, Kitty Power, there at number 11. Denise Cole will wear number 12 from beautiful part of Kilkenny. Michelle Quilty is from Mullinavat, and Edwina Keane is the late replacement coming in at top of the left. Big day, of course, for the team officials as well. Today for the referee, Eamon Cassidy from Limavady, Wolfhounds and Derry. It's a second All-Ireland final. Introducing the linesman Ray Kelly for Kildare, Fintan McNamara from Clare. The fourth officials, Owen Elliott from Antrim and Philip MacDonald from Cavan. His umpires, Linda Cassidy, Peter Dowd, Tommy Farron and Malachy McTow. Big day for them as well, hoping that everything will go well. We wish them indeed well in this All-Ireland final. Moving on to Aoife Murray, the captain of the Cork team, the goalkeeper in her 16th season, being introduced to Leanne O'Sullivan, coming in as a late replacement there. Laura Tracy will play full back. Pamela Mackey, one of the twins from Douglas. Libby Coppinger will wear number 5. Centre half back is the legendary Gemma O'Connor. Chloe Sickerson will wear number 7. She scored 3 points in the All-Ireland semi-final against Tipperary. And of course, Kilkenny will never forget Julia White's winning point in last year's All-Ireland final. She'll be joined by Aisling Thompson. What a player, Aisling Thompson indeed. She will wear number 9. Amy O'Connor from the St. Vincent's Club in the north side of Dublin. Cronin. Orla Cotter was outstanding in the semi-final against Tipperary, scoring 13 points. There's the other half of the twins. That's Katrina Mackey. And the late replacement, Linda Collins, is coming into the full forward position, and she played really well in the semi-final as well. And of course, Hannah Looney makes up the 15. And the President, Michael D. Higgins, salutes the crowd here in the Hogan stand, getting a warm, rapturous applause from the substitutes. Big crowd here. It's windy here in Croke Park, but we're all looking forward to the throw-in of the All-Ireland final in about 5 minutes' time. Joanne.
We certainly are. Rena Buckley, you were pointing out what a factor the referee could be today.
Absolutely. I think we'd be expecting a kind of a close, low-scoring game, and in a game like that, you know, frees and scoreable frees will be crucial. Kilkenny generally tend to get a lot of people behind the ball, and in fairness to them, they're usually quite disciplined, and when they give away their frees, they're usually at the edge of scoring zones or outside scoring zones. I just think Cork, if they're going to win the game today, they have to be really, really disciplined and not give away, you know, many scoreable frees to Kilkenny, because they will punish.
And as always, presumably the bench is going to play a major factor, especially when it's such a tight game. Kilkenny only used one sub in their semi-final, Elaine.
Yeah, Mary Welch was the only one to come on, and she had failed the late fitness test to start that game. So, you know, you'd expect to see Miriam at some stage today, but Cork do have impact on the bench as well, and they have 2 changes beforehand. So it'll be interesting to see, depending on what way the game is going. We'd obviously expect to see Bridge Cork reintroduced at some stage, and what impact that will have in front of this large crowd. If she was to start warming up, I would imagine it would give Cork a great impetus going into the last maybe 10-15 minutes. If they needed something to give them a little boost at that stage, she'd surely be a certain.
But Ursula, is that not a worry for Kilkenny, that it would appear that they only have faith in maybe 1 or 2 players on the bench?
Yeah, I suppose, look, we probably would have in previous years felt that Kilkenny had the stronger maybe overall panel, but Cork have kind of maybe shown this year that they have those impact players more so than Kilkenny. But looking at Kilkenny subs as well, they have the likes of Michelle Teague, who has lots of experience in the backline for Kilkenny, and Danielle Morrissey and Aoife Doyle, who got good experience earlier on in the championship. So I suppose they weren't used in the semi-final, but there's nothing to say that in the final that they won't be brought on.
Okay, very quickly, what way do you take on Rena?
I'd say a slim win for Cork.
Elaine?
Kilkenny by 1.
And the neutral vote goes to Ursula Jacob?
I'm just thinking Cork maybe by
Okay, let's find out. If you would like to hear commentary on the All-Ireland final of Scoilga, details are available at rte.ie/sport. Our team, though, for the 2018 All-Ireland Senior Final is Anne-Marie Hayes and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Well, there is something very special about the Cork-Kilkenny rivalry, whether that's in hurling or camogie. With the camogie, it's now reaching fever pitch, a climax that we haven't really experienced for some time, as the Rebels and the Cats face each other again for the ultimate glory. The exclusive rights of being hailed and declared the best team in the land, All-Ireland champions 2018. You remember 2016? Well, Cork were going for 3 in a row back then and seeking a record-breaking 27th All-Ireland title, only for Kilkenny, who hadn't won an All-Ireland in 22 years, to arrive on the scene. You might recall that we first got a hint of the keen rivalry and edginess just before the All-Ireland final in 2016, when in the final handshake between the teams, Cork's Hannah Looney gave a surprise little dunt to Kilkenny's Colette Dormer, only to get an equally quick response of a serious pushback. So since then, it's been game on. As the teams parade around Croke Park, there's also huge excitement and indeed anticipation that one player may make an appearance. Her name, of course, is Bríd Corcoran. And if she does, well, then there'll be a huge response, because after a 2-year break away from the playing fields of Cork and Ireland, the arrival of her beautiful son Tadhg to the world earlier this year, Bríd Corcoran could be introduced. And if Cork win, she could equal her great friend Rena Buckley's record of winning 18 All-Ireland medals. For Bríd right now, it stands at 11 ladies football All-Ireland medals and 6 camogie. It is indeed a historic day in every sense. It's a Kilkenny team, of course, that's captained by Thomastown's Shelley Farrell. 3 Farrell sisters on the team. And right down the middle, there's a very strong line, all All-Stars. Full-back Catherine Foley, centre-back Anne Dalton, and centre-forward Katie Power, and indeed Megan Farrell as well, all comprising a real challenge here for the All-Ireland champions. Joining me in the commentary is a player that was brilliant herself, was full forward on the Galway team that won the All-Ireland in 2013, Anne-Marie Hayes. What do you think? What do you expect from this All-Ireland final, Anne-Marie?
I think for sure, Marty, it's going to be an enthralling battle here today. Amazingly, Cork have the most goals scored in this championship and Kilkenny have the least conceded. So I think that's going to make for a very interesting battle. As the girls are saying there, it's going to be very, very... There's been nothing between these teams in the last couple of years, and today I think we'll expect no less.
Are you surprised, or were you anticipating the changes of Leanne O'Sullivan and Linda Collins coming into the Cork team and Edwina Keane coming in at top of the left for Kilkenny?
There were similar changes, Marty, in the semi-final battles, and I suppose there was bound to be 1 or 2 little tactical things going to be thrown in at the beginning of this game. So no big surprise of the girls that are starting, to be quite honest.
What kind of a game are you anticipating? I mean, will any of these teams go defensive? Because it's been very close. 1 point between the teams, be it league or championship. Can somebody come up with something different?
Yeah, I hope so, Marty, and I really hope that we're going to have a great game of camogie today, because it's a beautiful day down there and perfect day for camogie. It's a bit breezy, all right, but I think it will be defensive, Marty. The 2 background teams, managements, so tactical and both very, very professional. No stone will have been left unturned in preparation for this All-Ireland final.
Yes, final words for Kilkenny as they gather. And we pause on this day for our national anthem, Our Own of It. Indeed, as our camera just showed, Anne Downey, a brilliant player in her own right with 12 All-Ireland medals, is undoubtedly a major reason why Kilkenny have come out of the doldrums 2 years ago and are now very much a force. Can they win their 14th All-Ireland title, or is it going to be Cork's 28th? The man in charge is from Limavady Wolfhounds in County Derry, Eamon Cassidy. He also refereed this All-Ireland final in 2016. It's a windy day, I can assure you, in headquarters. Cork and Kilkenny doing their final warm-ups as we look here. And by the way, if our pictures look a little bit different, that's because our commentary position and some of my colleagues here on the cameras and sound, and indeed Anne-Marie Hayes beside me, are all in the Cusick stand looking across to the Hogan stand. And I have to say, it's one of the biggest crowds I've seen actually at this Camogie final.
Yeah, that's right, Marty. The great crowd here today, and there was actually a great crowd in for the Premier Junior final as well. Dublin overcoming
Cork.
Derry.
Dublin beating Kerry in the junior final.
Kerry.
It's the wind,
My mind
Anne-Marie.
gone
I don't blame you. Your thoughts can be blown away up here on the 7th floor.
Dublin made up for last year's loss in the Premier Junior, Marty, and they were delighted with their win, and they had great support. Now, to be fair, Kerry had great support too. It was their first day out in Croke ever, so it was a huge historic day for Kerry today.
So the scene is set. The pitch is absolutely in fantastic condition, and one of the biggest crowds. I'm sure the announcement of the attendance will be coming your way shortly. Kilkenny have their final few words. They were broken-hearted after last year's All-Ireland final because it took Jim O'Connor and Julia White to get 2 late points to give Cork a 1-point victory. So now the role is reversed. Cork have been enjoying the presence of the O'Duffy Cup during the winter and the spring and most of the summer, but now can they hold on to it? Can they win it for the 28th time and go 2 ahead of Dublin, the great Dublin team of the past, of many decades ago, very much up there on 26 All-Ireland titles? Cork get into position, so too do Kilkenny. Cork playing from right to left as we look at it, which would mean that Kilkenny have wind advantage in this opening half. Lots of movement by the players, switching wings, trying to keep their opponents unsettled. The biggest day in the world of Camogie is today, and wherever you are watching us here, whether it's in Ireland or abroad on GA Go, you are most welcome. This is what we look forward to. Is a great day. Cork have already won the intermediate title, beating Down. Down really produced the goods, but Cork had that edginess, and Dublin beating Kerry as well. Down around the Davin end, there was a huddle of players, rather strangely, all gathered in around the goalposts. And the referee, meanwhile, there you see it, that's down at the Davin end, and they're not having a cup of tea or discussing the weather. They're just all huddled in there, which is rather strange.
A surprisingly tactical battle already, Marty.
The referee, meanwhile, is concentrating on what's happening down at the Hill 16 end. I think he's looking for a slither. And the linesman is now going up to check about what's happening in around the goals. The referee's attention, I think, has now been drawn down to the other end. He was looking down at Hill 16 for, I think, what was a slither, but all the action was happening at the Davin end. So the linesman at this side has now gone in around the house and dispersed the players.
He's actually asking Marty to start the game. It has to be 15 on 15. Everyone has to pick up a player for the game to start.
And away we go. After that slight delay, it's the All-Ireland Senior Camogie final, Cork against Kilkenny, for the 3rd year in a row. Cork playing from right to left. Kilkenny playing with a swirling breeze in the first half. Going forward. Chance of an early score. Ball is hit in, and it's hit in beautifully. The umpires will bend their backs as Michelle Quilty gets the opening score.
And Dalton on the ball very quickly there, Marty. Made a run up the field and laid a lovely hand pass off to Quilty, and she popped that ball over the bar. Interestingly, we can see that Jim O'Connor has actually started at midfield here, Marty. So that's an interesting move by Cork.
Michelle Quilty, full forward from Mullinavat, twice an All-Star, 2014 and 16. Breaking ball picked up by Julianne Malone. Sending it over, front of the Hogan. As Kilkenny look to settle quickly against the All-Ireland champions. Ball is sent in by Anna Farrell, but this one is very much to the left and right. Wind will be a factor in this first half, Anne-Marie, I would suggest.
Yeah, it probably will, Marty, and there's usually a swirling wind in Croke Park, so that's going to affect puck-outs, frees, sidelines, that kind of thing.
Centre half forward, Orla Cronin battling hard, but coming away with it is Megan Farrell. Kilkenny getting on a lot of ball in this opening sequence of play. Libby Coppinger hand passing it over. ends up with All. Scored 9 points in the All-Ireland semi-final against Tipperary, and 7 of those were from frees. And she's just got fouled herself for Kilkenny doing a little bit of holding, so there's going to be a free here for Cork.
Kilkenny have set up defensively, Marty. They've dropped back Megan Farrell, and they're playing with 2 girls inside, just starting off the game.
This is Chloe Sigerson from Killa. Cork minor just a few years ago, scored 3 points in the semi-final. She hits this against the wind. Oh, that's a great score against what is a very strong wind. It's a good start for the young player from Killa.
She scored some great long-range points, Marty, in the semi-final as well, and that was a fantastic score, a great score to get the nerves settled at the beginning of the All-Ireland.
Emma Kavanagh getting her first puck out of the afternoon. Dropping it down into the Cork half of the field. There's a pull across by a Kilkenny player, free for Cork. All-Ireland champions 2016 against All-Ireland champions 2017. Once again, it's Chloe Sigerson. This time she's in the shade of the Hogan stand. She can certainly belt a ball, dropping it down between the 13 and 20 metre line. Kilkenny defensively have the situation under control. At least they should have. Putting a bit of pressure on was Katrina Mackey. Straight down the middle towards Michelle Quilty. Ball just skidded by her. Sigerson again getting a touch. Little scoop up. Nice wrist work by Sigerson. And Gemma O'Connor was fouled on the Kilkenny 65 metre line.
Again, Marty, the defensive setup of Kilkenny, you know, that ball went up the field there. There was no sign of a half-forward line. And Katie Power has switched inside. Michelle Quilty's playing at centre forward and Shelley Farrell playing at wing forward. So already a huge amount of changes and switches. And we'll see now, will Kilkenny push back up the field for the next puck out.
Chloe Sigerson going for her second point of the game. She hits it very high. This time it's wide. But to her disadvantage, she's facing into a very strong breeze. Her first free was brilliant, but the difficult conditions for any free taker heading down towards the Davin end. 6th year as the Kilkenny keeper, Emma Kavanagh. Nice pick-up indeed by Hannah Looney. Good ball inside. Kilkenny stretched but defending well. Good work by Anne Dalton. Superb player. Coming out of the Kilkenny defence. Lovely stick work. Leaving it behind her, however. There's a chance here as Cork chase the slightest mistake. There was a chop down as Kilkenny were just caught a little bit with a fast ball that was coming out. Just wasn't controlled. And there's a chance here for Cork to go in front.
The movement of the Cork forwards is very good, Marty, and the Kilkenny backs are having a hard time keeping tabs on them. Edwina Kane has moved back into the backs, and you know, I think they need to settle the ship now a small bit and get a bit of ball to hand and settle down.
Orla Cotter, an Irish teacher in Middleton, gets her first free and her first point. It's a ball that probably should have been cleared, but every mistake, every point will be crucial. There is nothing between these two teams.
The girls spoke at the beginning, and Marty too, about the importance of frees and, you know, the importance of discipline. And that's, you know, Kilkenny are going to have to watch those frees because Orla Cotter will punish.
Good work by Shelley Farrell, who's operating on the wing, as Anne-Marie described a moment ago. Crossfield ball knocked away by Chloe Sigerson. Gathered by Aisling Thompson. Ball into the middle as Cork launch another attack. Running after this is Amy O'Connor. Staying with her is Davina Tobin and Grace Walsh. Grace Walsh is putting in the hard work, but good work by Cork, creating an opportunity. Dashing inside the cover, still an opportunity! And Kilkenny defensively exposed, but the referee has blown his whistle. He's going in to check with his umpires. He wants a consultation as the ball was coming in.
That was an absolute amazing hoop by Anne Dalton. but I think Edwina Kane came in at the end of the challenge and she took that Cork player out.
Major decision for Eamon Cassidy, having a long consultation with his umpires down at the Davin end. So the final decision is about to be revealed. And he's giving a penalty.
Okay, Edwina Kane came in heavy with a heavy challenge, all right, but it was a super hoop and Dalton actually had it covered.
Just watch this again, Anne-Marie.
Denise Gall actually, was it, Marty? Come in when the ball, when the ball had gone. Amy O'Connor, she's known for this running game. Taking on the back, she's not afraid to run at defences. And
it seemed very harsh though, didn't it?
It probably was harsh now, Marty, to be honest.
Amy O'Connor from the St. Vincent's Club, an incisive run that caused problems. Student in UCC. Bonnie Murray having a word with his management team. Amy is fine. She's going to take her position.
Aoife Murray has made her way up to take this, Marty. So I'm sure that Cork are going to go for it.
Aoife Murray in her 16th season with 8 All-Ireland medals from Clodagh, 7 times an All-Star. Facing Emma Kavanagh, who was an All-Star goalkeeper herself in 2016. Here it comes. And that's gone over the bar. Could have been a turning point, but the prize at the end of it will be a disappointment to Cork.
Definitely could have been, Marty. The last thing Kilkenny wanted to let in an early goal. It would have been a great start for Cork, but look, they got a point out of it. They'll be happy enough with that.
Cork go 2 points in front. Tuck out from Emma Kavanagh. Dropping down in front of us here. The sun has gone behind a cloud, which certainly makes from our position here a little bit easier. Ball is passed out for Aisling Thompson. Good recovery, Kilkenny again. Shelley Farrell is doing a lot of hard work out in the wing, sending it in deep. Good ball, just a little bit too strong, and coming across is Leanne O'Sullivan from the Glen Rovers Club, one of the most famous clubs in Ireland. They produced the former Taoiseach, of course, Jack Lynch and Christy Ring, and players like Linda Mellerick.
And that's exactly what Kilkenny want to do, Marty. What we've just seen there, Shelley Farrell picking up the ball. It was sent in to Katie Power, who won that ball, and she laid it off to Denise Gall, but the pass was just overcooked. And that's what Kilkenny are looking to do, I think, is to put the ball inside to Katie Power. She has pace, and they want to use that pace.
Almost 10 minutes gone in this first half, and Kilkenny haven't scored since the first minute. It's a long time because there is a swirling breeze, but it seems to be favouring Kilkenny in this first half. Julianne Malone from Mullinavat. Gone for the return pass. Julie delivered. Head on the rod. Will it curl inside the post? The umpires say wide. And I wouldn't disagree with them.
The Cork packline have been on top so far, Marty, but when Julianne start running at them there, they seem to be on the back foot a small bit, but they've cleared an awful lot of ball at the start of this game.
Chloe Sigerson to Orla Cotter. Ball rebounds. Kilkenny regain the possession. Nice work by Claire Phelan from the Lisdowney club. Teaches, in fact, in Lisdowney. Going across is Pamela Mackey, PhD student in University College Cork, giving it to her goalkeeper and captain, Aoife Murray, who goes for distance.
Just there in that shot, Marty, there were 7 Cork backs and a midfielder, obviously, closest to Katie Power. The 4 other Kilkenny forwards are outside the 45. Kilkenny are going to have to push up on Cork.
Free to the All-Ireland champions, just outside their own 65-metre line.
The space that's left inside Marty in front of Katie Power is just unbelievable. Again, she's standing on between the 14 and the 21 herself and Pamela Mackey, and there's nobody from there out to the 45. The next player is Laura Tracy. She's on the 45-yard line.
There is actually right now, inside the Cork half of the field, just to emphasise your point, Anne-Marie, just 2 players. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Cork players.
Yeah, and I think, Marty, if Kilkenny are going to win this match, they really need to push up the field.
Orla Cotter are going to take this. Ball is pushed forward just inside the Kilkenny 45, and against the wind, it's curling in, inside the post and over the bar.
That's a fantastic score, Marty, against the breeze, and Cork are really punishing any indiscipline by Kilkenny, and they've got all the frees so far. It's been very, very good free taking.
Strategically, tactically, Kilkenny need to readjust. I'll give you the angle from behind hill 16 of the huge amount of space that's available for Kilkenny, but indeed also for Cork, with the result there's little or no threat coming from the black and amber. Chloe Sigerson stepping by the first challenge, passing it inside for Aisling Thompson. Going forward, being chased by Anna Farrell and Dalton again. Rock solid at 6. 2009 Player of the Year, 5 times an All-Star.
Super ball in, Marty, by Julia.
Oh, great ball.
Power.
And Katie Power, the long ball strategy is obviously the plan. And that was a 50-50 ball, and Katie Power did brilliantly. Brilliant catch. Beating on this occasion, Pamela Mackey. But it still doesn't dilute the point that they need to push forward a little bit, although they're obviously going to try the long ball just into Katie.
Yeah, and the middle third of the field, Marty, is very packed out then. Kilkenny have picked up the last couple of breaks, but Cork are very, very sharp in their half-back line, and that point's just been tapped over by Denise Gall.
Scored 6 points in the All-Ireland semi-final, all of them from frees against Galway. That's her first in this All-Ireland final.
Cork utilising the extra player at the back and going short there with their puck outs.
Chloe Sigerson rolling it on for Libby Coppinger. Knocked away on this occasion. Picked up by Julianne Malone. And Dalton. Crossfield ball.
That's much better play, Marty, by Kilkenny. Lovely work there between Claire Feeney, Lan Dalton and Davina Tobin.
Shelley Farrell going for the point. Oh, stopped by Aoife Murray. Not once but twice. Good goalkeeping, because he could easily have sneaked in under the post. A great movement by Kilkenny. Good shot by Shelley Farrell, and Aoife Murray had to be alert not once but twice.
Very good goalkeeping, Marty. She's been a rock in the goals for Cork for the last 10, 12 years, and again today, standing up. You know, she's a real leader. Last year, you know, she really stepped up to the plate, but again today, that was a good save, and you know, it would turn the game in its head if Kilkenny got a goal at that moment. And
you can see with the way she's holding her hurley that it is difficult. The sun is quite blinding here, that September sun. We won't complain about it. Nice to have the bright sunshine, but the ball taken, free taken, and sent over the bar by Denise Gall for a second point.
Low scoring as expected, Marty. 15 minutes gone, 4-3, and frees playing a huge role in this game so far.
Libby Coppinger from Bantry Blues. That general area, St. Columns. And away comes Julianne Malone. There's a chop down on Julianne, and that's going to be a free for Kilkenny.
She's been busy, Julianne Malone. She's got on quite a bit of ball already, Marty, and trying to put the ball inside to Katie Power, but she's working hard in the half-forward line.
She had a superb game in the 2016 final, and the title of Player of the Match, that award. And Denise Gall was an All-Star in 2016. Sending this to the right and wide. Every free, every opportunity must be taken, because these two teams are so close to each other. Short puck out again for Laura Tracy from Killa. Goes for the return pass if needed. Sends it low along the ground for Orla Cotter. Orla is being held. No great advantage. In fairness, the referee could have allowed Orla a little bit of space there, I would have thought.
Yeah, she had the ball in her hand, Marty. Maybe the advantage rule could have been used there. Libby Coppinger stepping up to this one again. It's right on the midway point, so it'll be interesting to see will she have the distance for this one.
7 points scored in this match and only 1 from play. Gives A statistic that is interesting to say the least and indicates the nervousness and the tightness.
Sorry, Marty. Chloe Seager.
That is swinging again to the left and wide. As Chloe Sigurdsson. About 1 out of 3 now I make for her. Her first one was brilliant because it is a very strong wind here at Croke Park.
And Dalton seems to be taking up the right-hand back position, right corner back position there for the puck outs. They haven't used her yet. So interestingly, she's not taking up the usual position in front of the D, Marty.
Umpire just having a private word with the referee. And he in turn is just seems to have just had a mention or a word there with Linda Collins for some reason. Cork player that was a late replacement for Niamh McCarthy. And Linda was anticipated to make the starting 15, had a great game in the semi-final. Going long once again. 4 against 2 here. And Kilkenny somehow managed to get there. Julianne Malone under pressure. Is it curling in? Oh, that's a great point. Good score.
Really good score from Julianne Malone. Short puck out that time to Catherine Foley, and Catherine Foley can hit she's got serious strike to the ball. She boomed that ball down the field, and Julianne Malone continuing her good work there.
Sides level once again. Ball comes back out first, Aisling Thompson. Over first, Chloe Sigurdsson. To Thompson again. Under a little bit of pressure. Flicks it back, but it's a poor ball from Aisling Thompson, and Kilkenny could take advantage of this. Good work by Anna Farrell, and dropping it in. Katie Power is hovering. Aoife Murray is there. There's a bit of a chamozzle. Katie Power and Aoife Murray are still on the ground, and indeed Aoife Murray is still indeed on the ground, and it's Kilkenny back in the attack. Julianne Malone, goalkeeper, is inside the large rectangle on the ground as Kilkenny continue on, and the referee has to halt play. He's now copped on, and it's going to be a halt at least in the proceedings so that the goalkeeper can get some medical attention. A little bit of drama here as the ball dropped in. Aoife Murray came off her goal line here, collided with Katie Power.
Six of one, half a dozen of another there, Marty, I think, to be honest.
I think so. Maybe this is a better idea. At the end of the day, Aoife Murray requires some medical attention. Brother, of course, Kevin Murray, played with the Cork hurlers back in 1999 and All-Ireland medalist. And of course, Cork manager's sister as well. As this halt in play will give players just a chance to get some water. There's a chat here between the referee and Katie Power, which is very interesting because it's going to get a card, because I saw Katie Power throw the hurley away as well afterwards, and perhaps that's the infringement that the referee is having a word with the Kilkenny centre forward. That's Katie Power from Milltown. Yellow card for the number 11.
Huge amount of movement, Marty, by the Cork forwards, and Dalton seems to be picking up Orla Cotter now at the moment, and they just seem to be moving into different positions, and the Kilkenny backs probably need to settle a small bit better.
I would have to say though, Anne-Marie, I think Kilkenny have weathered the storm, to use that cliche, because Cork seem to be dominant, but Kilkenny just seem to have gained the momentum in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they have, Marty, and to be honest, it's 4-4 for all the possession that Cork have had, and it's not shown on the scoreboard yet. A lot of the possession is probably in the backs, their half-back line for Cork, and moving up the field, Kilkenny have a huge amount of players behind the ball. So I suppose at the moment, 4-4, probably Kilkenny, as you say, have weathered the storm to start off.
Aoife Murray is fitting well to continue. Chloe Sigurdsson is making herself available and for the puck out, and meanwhile the referee is having another word, and
I think it's an indirect free, Marty.
It is.
Yep.
Well done. Ball comes back outside, and there's a chance for a point that is not taken off the hurl there of Van Dalton.
A poor miss, Marty. She did very well to make herself available for that short free, but it didn't go with the bar at the end.
Aoife Murray goes for distance this time. Orla Cotter. Referee blows the whistle again. Little bit finicky. All-Ireland final referee, I would suggest.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see a bit of momentum gathering, Marty, instead of kind of the stop-start what we've seen. Chloe Segerson now stepping up to this one again.
No free movement at all in this game so far. Very much stop and start. Dominated by frees. 4 points Cork, 4 points Kilkenny. Chloe Segerson gives this an almighty puck, and it drops over the bar. 2 of her frees of the first half have been really outstanding. I know she's had a few that went astray, but let's accentuate the positive. 2 of them have been top-notch.
Absolutely top drawer, Marty. That was a super free. She was a long way out and that swirling breeze and just dropped it in over the bar. Great score. No team has really got a foothold yet, Marty, here today, or no one person. You know, that was a super catch by Orla Cotter.
Great catch indeed by Orla Cotter, but Gemma O'Connor, rather unusual for her to lose the slither. Comes far as Aisling Thompson. Looking around, she's 3 options. One of them is Gemma O'Connor from the St. Finbarr's Club on the south side of Cork City, and it's dropping in. Emma Kavanagh's happy to just bat it away. The danger still exists as Cork latch onto it. This is Amy O'Connor giving it back outside. The pass is just not accurate enough, but Cork retained the possession. Little shimmy by Katrina Mackey, and that is a beautiful score.
Lovely footwork there, Marty. Just took it on one side, little sidestep, turned inside and popped it over the bar. You know, she had a great game in the semi-final too, and she's a very, very talented player. Great speed and athleticism, and that was a lovely score.
One of the scores in the match so far, with 23.5 minutes gone. Hannah Looney under a little bit of pressure as Shelley Farrell again is working hard. Surely that is a free.
She did very well there, Marty. She had a lot of ground to make up on that puck out. The ball dropped over both of their heads, and she did very well to make the ground back and win a free in the end.
Shelley Farrell is playing well in the half-forward line. This is Julianne Malone on the other wing. So having restored parity, Kilkenny chase again. Denise Gall takes. The umpires don't have any doubt it's her 3rd successful voyage. 3 out of 3 for Denise. And just 1 point between the teams again. Considering that Aoife Murray is playing against the wind, that's a mighty puck out, dropping well into Kilkenny half of the field. Linesman has his flag raised. That's going to be a sideline ball for Kilkenny.
Super puck out by Aoife Murray, and great movement by Katrina Mackey. She was over and back and eventually made that run. It was just unfortunate the ball ran out over the line in her.
Claire Phelan with the sideline cut. Laura Tracy. Aisling Thompson. Pamela Mackey. Nice stick work. Cork happy to pass the ball in front of the Hogan. Sending it into the corner. Chasing after it. 2 against 1 in favour of Kilkenny. And the referee again blows his whistle for an infringement.
Massive battle on there, Marty, between Grace Walsh and Amy O'Connor today. Both girls very, very fast, and Grace Walsh is keeping a very, very close eye on her today.
Once again, it's a free going to be taken by Claire Phelan. Number 5 on her back, but she's really covering an amount of acres here in Croke Park. Challenge was a little bit high. No advantage given by the referee. And that's going to be a free in for Kilkenny. We're getting very little free-flowing stuff here, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, a lot of stop-start. And again there, I thought Katie Power probably had a bit of an advantage, that if he let her run on, Shelley Farrell, Michelle Quilty was actually inside her, you know, so I don't know, was there an option there for advantage?
Denise Gall going to take this. Had a great career Ashbourne Cup success with WIT in her student days, and that was over the bar. 4.
Bit of a shootout going on, Marty, at the moment between the free takers. As you say, it's very stop-start, not much for free flowing or momentum built up yet.
Puck out from Aoife Murray. Runs on past Orla Cronin, putting on the pressure subsequently.
Great strength by Edwina Kane there, Marty. She just, used her strength, shielded the ball. Lovely little roll lift up into the hand.
Showing a little bit too much was Julianne Malone. Little touch off the boot. Advantage Kilkenny.
Good work by Libby Coppinger there to dispossess Julianne Malone. Lovely little flick off the hurl.
And Dalton cutting it into the middle. Hannah Looney and Aisling Thompson were there to deal with it, but not for very long as the ball comes back in. It's Katie Power that's chasing this again, hovering on her own up front, trying to get the better of Pamela Mackey. Cork defensively staying solid. Comes out for Aisling Thompson, just took her eye off it momentarily. Good recovery by the Milford player, back into the middle. Kenny chase, Laura Tracy, hand pass. Leanne O'Sullivan makes herself available and sends the slither back into Kilkenny half of the field.
Again,
knocked away on this occasion.
Grace Walsh on Amy O'Connor there. She managed to get a lovely flick on it.
Hannah Looney is there for Cork. So too is Amy O'Connor. Referee blows the whistle.
Just on that last play there, Marty, ball sent in by Anne Dalton into Katie Power again, but the Kilkenny forwards are actually too far away to get in quick enough to give some support to Katie Power, and Cork managed to clear it, and they seem to have a free player there to collect the hand pass every time.
Stalemate again. Referee felt there was a pick up off the ground, I think is what he's indicating, and that's going to be a free for Kilkenny. Orla Cotter doesn't quite agree, I feel, with the referee's decision.
Again, Anne Dalton had the ball in her hand that time, Marty. Just lift the arm, play the advantage rule, see where it goes, and if it doesn't, anything, bring it back and give the free. But I think just to let a bit of momentum and let a bit of the game flow here.
Denise Gall taking the free, dropping it in and dropping it over the bar. Great effort from in front of the Hogan stand. Her 5th point of the game. She scored 6 in the semi-final, all of them from frees. But that has certainly given huge confidence to not alone her teammates, but indeed Kilkenny people here. Giving voice to their feelings, chasing the O'Duffy Cup, chasing their 14th All-Ireland titles. The ball drops in again.
Marty, that was an absolute incredible piece of play. Claire Phelan to Anne Dalton to Denise Gall, and a long-range ball dropping in over the bar. What an absolutely brilliant score.
2 in a row by Denise Gall. 1 from a free, 1 from play. And suddenly, Kilkenny, who were trailing, chasing, and under a lot of pressure, now find themselves 2 points in front. Here come the response from Cork as they go forward, looking for scores. Katrina Mackey pulls the brakes, gives it back outside. Far as Linda Collins, trying to get inside the cover. Back out, far as Orla Cronin, and that's over the bar. Much better. It took a while for this game to warm up, almost on the stroke of half-time. But for the first time in this All-Ireland final, we have some free-flowing movement and indeed some great hurling.
Absolutely, and Orla Cronin, she scored 3 points from playing last year's All-Ireland final. That was another super score, and she'll be looking, she's hungry for the ball, and well worked there by Katrina Mackey too.
Shows the character, though, the Cork team, Anne-Marie, that they got 2 points in a row, Kilkenny, from Denise Gall, 2 of them really good scores, and to show on the first counter-attack from the puck out that they could get a score.
Yeah, absolutely, how they react. As champions, I suppose, would, they go straight back up the field and get a score. And, it's 8-7, very, very tight, as everyone thought it would be. Bit of a shootout between the free takers at the moment, and hopefully in the second half we'll see some more free-flowing hurling.
Colette Dormer from Paulstown just getting a little bit of medical attention. Emma Kavanagh with the puck out. Can Kilkenny keep that lead as the half-time whistle is not that far away? Michelle Quilty dropping it in. Cork defensively strong again. Gemma O'Connor anticipating that the tactic is to find Katie Power as much as possible with long. And it's Hannah Looney that breaks away. Heading towards the 45. She's already gone past 65. Heading towards the 20. This is a good movement by the All-Ireland champions. On the 20, sends it with a short grip over the bar. The best we've seen so far from the All-Ireland champions. Great team score. At the end of it all, it's Orla Cronin that takes the credit with a superb point.
Super move, and that whole running game that's characteristic of Cork started with Gemma O'Connor, cut out a ball, gone into Katie Power, laid a lovely ball off to Hannah Looney, and she ran at those Kilkenny backs.
As it began around 4:15, it ends 33 minutes later, sides level. Cork dominating the first 10-15 minutes, Kilkenny under pressure, but at the end 4 times level in the first half. It ends level here at the break. It is Cork 8 points, Kilkenny 8 points. Analysis coming your way very shortly.
Camogie made me resilient. Camogie made me ready for the real world.
Say Yes to the Dress is back and everyone has an opinion.
Nobody needs to see me in this dress.
I don't like that at all.
They weren't really holding back. That's a no.
I don't like it.
I love it.
We go again?
Yeah, we go again.
Wow.
It's actually beautiful.
I love that.
Gorgeous. It's everything we imagined.
If it kills me, I will find it.
Say Yes to the Dress returns Monday, September 17th on RTE2.
We're the Celebrations. Congratulations! And we've been the Lotta House Band for the past... What is it now?
30 years.
Whenever there's a winner, we play, whether it's 10 million or 10 grand. We love seeing all the winners, the screamers.
The criers.
The fainters.
With all the winners...
It's taken its toll.
Lotto with new Lotto Plus now has even more winners and more millionaires than ever. Great news for almost everyone.
At Permanent TSB, our mortgage gives you 2% cash back at drawdown, and now cash back on your monthly repayments when you pay from an Explore account until 2027. Meaning you can TSB.ie.
Switch to Vodafone Fibre Broadband today. Now only €25 for the first 6 months. Search Vodafone Fibre Broadband. The future's exciting. Ready?
At AXA, we work hard to make life better with savings that make a difference. Like 2 months free home insurance for new customers. Care for what matters. Call us or go online today.
Camogie made me resilient. Camogie made me ready for the real world.
There's a lively crowd at Croke Park of 21,500 people for another even battle between Cork and Kilkenny. No surprises, it's all square at half-time. Took a little while to get going, but it really came to life there in the last 10 minutes probably of that first half. And there you see it, it is 8 points apiece. Brina, is it fair to say that Cork looked to be the superior team for an awful lot of that, and yet Kilkenny came into it towards the final bits of the first half?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you'd have to be very pleased, from a puck-out's point of view alone, Aoife seemed to have an awful lot of options, whereas Emma Kavanagh didn't seem to have half as many options. She seemed to have to just drive it long, Cork seemed to be making themselves available, creating space, taking Kilkenny on. But then you look at the scoreboard and there was just nothing in it. So Kilkenny seem to be sitting back quite defensive, but they're picking off their scores at the same time.
When you mentioned the word options, it's not just from the puck outs, in attack as well. There seems to be a big difference between when Cork have the ball and when Kilkenny get it in it.
Yeah, look, I just feel that Cork, are putting that bit more pressure on the Kilkenny defence. We see Katrina Mackey putting over a great ball from Linda Collins, and again, she's left with no option and she's picking out the person in the better position, even though Kilkenny are trying to crowd out the space, and Orla Cronin will do that all day if she's given the chance. Again here, Hannah Looney, a more natural forward laying off the ball to Orla Cronin again, and Cork, really finished that half strongly with two Cronin points. I just feel Cork have that bit more options up front, whereas Kilkenny are a little bit one-dimensional. It's like hitting in a high lobbing ball into Katie Power, and yes, she is very strong, aerially, but like Pamela Mackey, Laura Tracy, Gemma O'Connor will be delighted to see that there's only maybe 2 Kilkenny forwards up at that end of the field.
It must have been frustrating as a Kilkenny person to be watching that when they got the ball, they were lobbing in, these high balls, and Cork were just sweeping it all up.
Yeah, from where we were sitting out there, if you were Emma Kavanagh in the Kilkenny goal, you're looking out the field and there's just nowhere to hit. Like, she tries to hit the space and it's the Cork sweeper gets to it every single time. Kilkenny are far too far back the field. We see here Shelley Farrell wins a great ball on the 45, but when she looks up, like, Shelley is not a distance shooter. She's not going to put over those balls, but she has no option only to have a pot at it because there is nobody inside her. For a long time, Katie Power was so isolated up front. And as Ursula said, the high ball into Katie is probably her advantage, but not if she has no one around her. You need Michelle Quilty or Shelley Farrell around her there to sweep up those breaks and to pop over the kind of scores they're capable of doing. But having Shelley Farrell shoot from 45, 50 yards is not her strong point, and it's not Kilkenny's strong point.
Cork had a chance, though, to land a killer blow. They were 2 points to 1 up, and they were awarded a penalty. Now, I don't think any one of you felt this was a penalty.
Yeah, it was a dubious enough decision by the referee, I felt. Look, Amy did very well. She took it on, in a tight angle, but the Kilkenny defence got back. They pushed her, they squeezed her out, and, they tackled the ball. And I felt there was no free there. You'd be delighted with your own defenders if they did something like that. But look, Cork were handed the opportunity. Look, they got something out of it, but Aoife would be small but disappointed she shouldn't bury it, but at least they got a point out of it.
Psychologically, what sort of a blow does it have when in a game you know is going to be so tight, your captain comes up and doesn't manage to find the net?
I don't think it would be too bad a blow if it happened in the last 10 minutes maybe, but it happened too early on in the game, they'll be able to recover, and they'll know they were fortunate to get the penalty as well.
Rena said before the game about how clever Kilkenny are about where they foul the ball. We saw Chloe Sigerson, though, being able to perhaps maybe make it not as easy to foul them a little bit farther out.
Yeah, and she has a fantastic strike, Chloe. We see here, and there's a strong enough breeze there. It's quite deceptive. And she got a great score here at the start of the half. And again, used her full strength in her strike over the bar again. And, Kilkenny, as Rena said prior to the game, that's their strength. They try to foul out the field. Unfortunately, I think the referee overall is being quite fussy. It's very frustrating to watch. From a neutral point of view, you just want to see the girls, go at each other, a bit more free flowing, and it's just far too fussy from my point of view, because there's girls with skill out there and they should be allowed to go and express themselves. And I feel like every time either team is going at it, the ref is blowing it up, and I think that's maybe not helping the game.
It did take a while to get going, but it certainly has done that, and we do have a thrilling second half. We hope in store. It's all even, 8 points apiece. Back in a minute.
Camogie made me strong. Camogie made me ready for the real world.
6 new celebrities take a step back in time.
Where we come from, what you're born into, those are the things that really shape who you are.
I wish I was around back then.
New Who Do You Think You Are starts with Damien Dempsey, tonight at 9:30 on RTE1.
Consider what happens when you shop at your local Super Value.
Consider you get everything on your list.
Fresh.
Healthy.
Food.
You love.
Which makes for a whole week.
All empty lunch boxes!
Fridges full of opportunity.
And plates that clean themselves.
Then consider the multi-award winning Super Value range.
More than 3,000 products.
Big on quality, better on price. So you can shop as you please.
And save as much as you like.
All brought to you by over
14,000 staff
and over 1,800
Irish suppliers. Then consider
you'll be supporting your community.
Tidy Town. Tidy Town.
And new Irish businesses like us.
Because it's Super Value, value doesn't stop at the till. It only starts.
All things considered, it's Super Value. Switch to Vodafone Fibre Broadband today. Now only €25 for the first 6 months. Search Vodafone Fibre Broadband. The future's exciting. Ready?
A leader knows how to set aside her own feelings.
To push through that heartbreak and pain. To keep moving.
When your legs are burning, when your eyes are stinging, it's your mind that pushes you on.
It took me a long time to discover that all those skills that I'd mastered through Camogie could be used in other areas of my life, such as coaching and mentoring the next generation.
Camogie made me a leader.
Camogie made me resilient.
Camogie made me strong.
Liberty Insurance, proud sponsors of the Liberty Insurance All-Ireland Camogie Championships.
Party people in this here spot.
New Rockshore, a light and refreshing tasting lager from the brewers of St. James's Gate.
Camogie made me strong. Camogie made me ready for the real world.
We've teamed up with O'Neill's Sports, who are celebrating 100 years, by giving you the chance to win an amazing dream holiday for you and your family to anywhere in the world. Whether you take a trip down under, soak up the sun in the Caribbean, road trip across the USA, or see the far-off sights of South America, Africa or Asia, the choice is all yours. You'll enjoy a luxury holiday to the value of €5,000, plus O'Neill's Sports will also give you €3,000 spending money to make it the trip of a lifetime. For your chance to win, answer this. Which of these is a well-known terrace in Croke Park? Is it Hill 10, Hill 16 or Hill 20? To enter, call 15 17 71 71 82 or text the word GAME followed by your answer and name to 570. Calls from the Air network will cost €2.03. Calls from other networks may be higher. Viewers in the north can also text to 57001 or call the number on screen. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday, September 10th. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
In this year's All-Ireland Camogie final, 8 points all at half-time. 6 of those Kilkenny points, though, came from Denise Gall, so there's no doubting who the danger woman is for the Cats.
Yeah, Denise is really after storming into the game, particularly in the last 10-15 minutes there before half-time. Her point from play there was a massive score, and it'll give a huge lift to Kilkenny going in at half-time. It put them 1 up. It would look like they were going to go in 1 up, but Orla Cronin's free at this end, or point at this end, equalised it again. But Gall is a real leader on that team, and she'll need to stand up in a set of Kilkenny forwards that haven't really started to function yet. She really is the leading light up there at the moment, so they'll need no more of that in the second half from her.
But at the same time, Cork will be pleased that she appears to be the only one doing much damage.
Yeah, Cork will be relatively pleased, I suppose. Kilkenny have set up that they've just Katie Power and Pamela Mackey is marking her, but outside them they have I suppose Laura Tracy is doing a lot of the sweeping, and you have Gemma O'Connor back there. Chloe Sigerson isn't too far away either. So, like, defensively, Cork seem to be pretty solid. But I suppose it's amazingly, Kilkenny just seem to be picking away, a few. They got an old 45, they got a couple of frees. Denise got a few from distance. And so even though Kilkenny seem to be sitting so far back, they're still level and they're still in the game.
They certainly are still in the game, so it's all square, 8 points each. Remember, it was all decided by what happened at the very, very end of the match 12 months ago. Let's see what happens in this edition as we go back to Anne-Marie and Marty.
Interesting to look at the stats out of the 16 points that they've shared. 6 only from play, 5 frees for Cork, 4 frees and a 45 for Kilkenny, and they've been level 4 times. You couldn't get much closer than this, as we all anticipated. The one thing we were all hoping for, and I'm sure Anne-Marie will agree with me, is that this is a little bit more open and a little bit more like what we saw in the last couple of minutes.
Absolutely, Marty. Use the advantage rule, let the play flow. If they have the possession, let it go. We just want to see a small bit of momentum building up here.
So where we go, second half. underway. Kilkenny's 14th, Cork's 28th title, which will come. And this, at the end of this All-Ireland battle. Chloe Sigerson. Kilkenny regained the possession thanks to the good work of Grace Walsh. Sending it into the centre. Good work by Pamela Mackey. Just getting a little touch. And Cork hand passed themselves out of trouble.
I wonder if Shelley Farrell had doubled on that one, Marty, where it would have ended up. You know, instead of taking it, she took it into her hand and took it into trouble. If she just had a swing at it and a bit of ground hurling, you know, you never know where it would have ended up.
Aisling Thompson had to work hard to deliver the ball up. That ultimately ended up towards Linda Collins. And she really shouldn't have won that particular ball. That was Catherine Foley's ball all the way, but Linda battled hard and she's still there. It's the first time pulling the ball, easily gathered by Emma Kavanagh. Spotted that there's a player available momentarily in front of us here on the Cusack. And Kilkenny finding it hard to break down this Cork defence. Good work by Megan Farrell initially, and then by Grace Walsh. High challenge on Laura Tracy, and that's going to be a free out for Cork.
Laura Tracy doing very well as a sweeper there, Marty. That ball from Colette Dormer down the wings, but she was quickest there. And I really hope that Kilkenny push up a small bit. As you see there from the first ball, Grace Walsh, she was running at the Cork backs. That made a difference. But once Laura Tracy is free, she seems to be mopping up any ball that's gone in there.
Cork with wind advantage in the second half. Aoife Murray into the centre. Kilkenny, just like their opponents, defensively very strong. They make a mistake here with Claire Phelan. Picked up by Julia White. Laying it over far as Katrina Mackey. Scored one smashing point in the first half, and she's repeated the exact same level of skill and accuracy at the start of the second half. Great score.
A super work rate from Julia White, Marty. She did really, really well. Won the ball back and gave a lovely hand pass outside, and a great finish by Mackey.
Ball pucked out by Emma Kavanagh. Kilkenny get the possession straight from the puck out. Goes off a Kilkenny player, however, and that's going to be a sideline ball for Cork. Just mentioning Katrina Mackey, she's been an all-star for the last 2 years, but certainly if the all-star judgment is based on All-Ireland finals, her 2 points in this All-Ireland final will surely be a telling factor. Kilkenny again leave the ball behind them, and it's picked up by Amy O'Connor. Twisting, turning. Good control, great patience. Into the centre towards Orla Cotter. Loses the hurley, but still manages to get it to a colleague. That's Amy O'Connor. Farrell's Katrina Mackey, great block down. Kilkenny not panicking. Once again, it's Orla Cronin. And taking too many steps, the Cork centre half forward. And that's a free out for Kilkenny.
Denise Gall needs to push up the field, Marty. She's back in her own 45. You know, she's a massive threat for Kilkenny, and she needs to push right up the field, up into her own half-forward line.
Grace Walsh, sister of Tommy and Torrig Walsh, great Kilkenny hurlers. Free is won back, possession is won back by Cork. Nice little pick up here by Hannah Looney. Working hard around the middle of the field. Ball comes far as Aisling Thompson. Just losing possession, not everything going well for Aisling on this particular All-Ireland final day. There seemed to be a high challenge on Megan Farrell. Both teams fouling quite a lot, and the referee correct here.
Megan Farrell, you know, she's key to this Kilkenny attack. Plays really, really well, dropping back for Anne Dalton, and then she's really, really good at breaking forward too. As you see there, running at the Cork defence, and we need to see more of that from Kilkenny.
Miriam Walsh is coming on for Kilkenny in a change, and Michelle Quilty is the player that's departing the arena. as Kilkenny go in search of an equaliser. The mission has been accomplished. Goal, who scores her 7th point of the game. 6 in the first half, one of them an absolute beauty from play. The official attendance, by the way, has been announced. I think Joanne gave it a while ago, but just in case you missed it, 21,467. Once again, it's Anne Dalton that's coming away with it. Just a brilliant player. Well into the Cork half of the field. No foul given. Lovely defending by Cork on this occasion, knocking it away. Equally the possession won back by Claire Phelan. Mistakes being made on both sides. Colette Dormer, good in the tackle, wins the possession and wins herself a free.
And Dalton made a great break from the half back line there, Marty. That's her usual, you know, what she usually does. But options, she had very few options up the field and she had to run with the ball herself. You know, Kilkenny need to make themselves available when there's a player breaking forward. And, you know, I don't know, they just seem to need to get a bit of a fire under them now at the moment. We might have it here from Denise Gall into Shelley Farrell.
Good ball inside, but Cork easily dealing with that effort. Rather weak. Again, mistakes being made by both teams. Pass for Hannah Looney. Well, she really shouldn't have won that, but she did fair and square. Quick hand pass by Julia White. Diagonal ball in towards Linda Collins. Catherine Foley is there. It takes 3 Kilkenny players to eventually sniff out the danger and anticipate it, and then
again, Defina Tobin now running up the field, Marty, and she has 4 or 5 Cork players in front of her. She's very few options.
Pass given away at the end of it to Gemma O'Connor. Aisling Thompson got a little touch, and once again it's Katrina Mackey from out the field dropping it in. Emma Kavanagh controls it on the boss of the hurl.
Denise Gall, Marty, back behind her own 45, striking the ball up to where she should be herself.
Exactly. I mean, from a right half back to a left half forward position. Great hook, good play. Great work indeed by Katie Power, who's moved out from around the edge of the square to try and win the possession. Once again, it's Anne Dalton.
Where are
flicking forward? There are no options. As she goes, that should be a free. Referee says play on, no foul given. I just saw him give the hand signal, play on. Comes Sarah O'Connor. Switches again, a diagonal ball, knocking it back. Good play on this by Edwina Keane, who's gone back into quite a defensive role. Laying it along the surface. Working hard is Miriam Walsh, who's been introduced from Michelle Quilty. Dealt with this occasion by Pamela Mackey and Gemma O'Connor. Linda Collins. Somehow managing to get the slither into her hand, but there's nowhere to go. And she takes too many steps. She's not pleased with the Derry official's decision, saying, what was she to do with it? He says, you had the time.
Catherine Foley and Linda Collins are having a battle in there, Marty, because anytime the ball goes in, it's just the two of them inside the 21, and you know, whoever wins it, if Linda Collins wins it and turns Catherine Foley, she's in a 1-on-1 with the goalie.
They were level at 8 points each at the break. Level now with almost 9 minutes gone in the second half. We've only seen a point each in this second half. Nice work by Anna Farrell. Giving it back first to Denise Gall in the position that we're saying she should be in going forward, but her effort this one tailing to the left and wide. 5th wide of the game for Kilkenny. And just so you know, when I look at the sheet here, just 2 wides for Cork.
Cork using the short puck out strategy today, Marty, and it's working out very well for them.
Chloe Sigerson gathering cleanly. Aisling Thompson from Milford. Ball over towards Hannah Looney. Free for Cork.
Again, Marty, there was probably an advantage there. She'd laid the ball off. There was a Cork player going to be on the ball. Just to see a small bit more momentum today. Definitely a free, but you know, she'd looked up and laid the ball off.
The free, as you can see, going to be taken just between the 45 and 65 metre line. Megan Farrell is the player for Kilkenny that's standing very close. There's a sudden gust of wind. Ball down towards the corner. Good work by Amy O'Connor. Trying to cut in along that end line that created the penalty, which I think we all felt was a bit harsh in that first half. Kilkenny trying to get that ball out under pressure. Putting the pressure on Davina Tobin is Katrina Mackey. Stalemate in front of Hill 16. And the referee is going to give a throw ball.
Trojan battle going on between Grace Walsh and Amy O'Connor. Amy O'Connor managed to round her. Grace Walsh tracked her, gave a lovely little flick off the hurl. I thought Anne Dalton was going to clear it, but it ended in a bit of a scuffle there. So he's going to throw it in.
Free for a push. Advantage to Cork and to Orla Cotter. And really Kilkenny, I know you said it in the first half, Anne-Marie, but Kilkenny have to stop conceding free so easily and fouling so easily, particularly when you know that one of your opponents is Orla Cotter.
Absolutely, Marty. She's been very, very good. And look, put this over the bar, and that was not an easy free. And again, as I say, indiscipline from Kilkenny, they need to hold their heads now, and especially when there's someone, a free taker of the class of Orla Cotter.
It's her third point of the game. And it's a 1 point advantage for the reigning All-Ireland champions. High challenge, and Megan Farrell, the referee, to his credit, giving the advantage to Kilkenny to see what will ensue. A race for possession. Good pick up by Julianne Malone, giving it back. Hand pass, good pressure by Cork. Great work by Jim O'Connor. Sigerson is there, looking for a little bit of help, loses just the contact. Surely that is a foul, and it is, and that's a free in for Kilkenny. If Kilkenny are doing it at one end, Cork are doing it at the other end.
And to be honest, Marty, Kilkenny were probably lucky there that they won a free, because inside, you know, Shelley Farrell had absolutely no options. So that was the best thing that could have happened to her there, to win a free in. Good work by Cork before that, but ended up giving a free in.
Denise Goal, score of 7 points in this All-Ireland final. Free taker is so important in any code now, but she's contributed with some, not just frees, but some fine points from play as well. One in particular. Here she comes, going for point number 8 for Denise Goal. It's gone to the left and wide for Kilkenny's 6th wide in this All-Ireland final.
She won't be happy with that, Marty. That was a bad miss. It was in a tough angle, all right, but you know, she usually would get.
That was within her range. There is a swirling breeze, just to take that into consideration as well. And it's favouring Cork in this first half. So Kilkenny facing into that breeze in the next 20 minutes or so. Aisling Thompson seems to have picked up a yellow card there in the process, in that sequence, just to note it.
Again, Marty, no options there for Kilkenny. Anna Farrell going forward, she had to turn back in, look back to see who she could lay off the hand pass to. 3 Cork in around her, and Cork, to be fair, their work rate is very good, so they're getting in around, but Kilkenny need more support there. They need to have a person running off the shoulder. Again, the match is a small bit dead, could do it, liven it up a small bit.
Orla Cotter going to take this. Won 5 All-Stars in her career so far, including 4 in a row, 2014, 15, 16 and 17. And that sails between the posts and over the bar. It's her 4th point in this All-Ireland final. 2-point advantage now established by the reigning All-Ireland champions.
Emma Cavan is forced to go short there, Marty, with that poke out. And Dalton, she's making a run up the field now.
Here comes Anne. Gone past the Cork 65, heading towards the 45. Hitting this in, but hitting it to the right and wide. And the game plan of using Katie Power with a long ball and isolating her seems to have been abandoned in the second half. They're gone a little bit more defensive, and that's, I can understand why Anne Downey is doing that, because they are playing against a very strong breeze.
They are, Marty, but I think if they want to win this game, they need to push up the field. Like, that was just a bad wide. Again, no options inside.
Here comes Claire Phelan. Plenty of Cork defenders around. Good work on this occasion by Shelley Farrell. Jim O'Connor picking up the loose ball. Three Kilkenny players there. Should get there is Grace Walsh. She did well, the Cork. Then the DNA is brilliant down around Tulla Road. Good work here by Hannah Looney. Stepping in and laying it off towards Katrina Mackey. Good work by Catherine Foley. Over for is Davina Tobin. Kilkenny forced to run with the slither every time. Little or no options up front at the moment. Hannah Looney was fouling, and that's a free for Kilkenny.
Again, lucky to win that free, Marty, because there are 4 free Cork backs at the moment. You know, up the field, she didn't have any more options.
Anna Farrell fouled.
Cork backs definitely on top. You know, they're coming out with a lot of ball there, delivering up the field. But again, Kilkenny defence are on top at the moment as well. So it's a day for the defences.
Denise Cole. Getting this in, dropping a little bit short. Kilkenny battling hard, but look how many Cork players are around there. Jim O'Connor twisting and turning, laying it off. Comes first Aisling Thompson, moving away from the challenge. 2 Kilkenny players, and Dalton has the cuteness to say, leave it to me. Laying it over for us, Megan Farrell. From out the field, has a goal, and that's gone over the bar. Good play, Megan Farrell. Great score.
Fantastic score, great vision by Anne Dalton. You know, picked her up that she was free, put a lovely ball across the field. She had time, she dropped it, picked it again and put it over the bar, but she has to do that, Marty, because there's no options inside.
Kilkenny not having scored since the 35th minute, 12, almost 13 minutes without a score, and under the cosh a little bit from Cork as they move forward, and yet there's still only 1 point between the teams. It's kind of a mirror image of what we saw in the first half, but on this occasion, Kilkenny just trailing by 1. That Megan Farrell point is crucial. It gives them a bit of confidence. And Downey looking a bit concerned. Can she produce anything?
Very
the fans waste patiently themselves on the big screen.
Very similar game, Marty, to last year too, I think, to be honest.
Ball is dropping in around the house. Aisling Thompson, Jim O'Connor, and Cork played themselves out of that defensive zone. Katrina Mackey acting as a wing back, having scored 2 points up front. Grace Walsh, much more prominent in this second half, playing really well at left corner back. Uses the short grip to try and find a nice stick work. Denise Cole back again for his Grace Walsh, but the block down was straight and true, showing a little bit too much as the ball comes back for his Aisling Thompson. She gives it to Grace O'Connor, or Jim O'Connor I should say, over towards Catherine Foley, number 3 full-back, all-star full-back, 2017. Ball into the middle. Good work again by Anne Dalton. The call came from Edwina Keane. Claire Phelan giving it over for his Colette Dormer. Kilkenny growing in confidence. 3-4 Kilkenny backs. If you add in the goalkeeper, Aoife Murray, and the referee saw that there was an infringement as Aoife Murray was trying to deal with the challenge. Cork player fouled unnecessarily, and that is a free in for Kilkenny, and he's explaining the reason why.
There wasn't a whole lot of that, Marty. I think, you know, Pamela Mackey isn't overly happy with that. That was some block down by Orla Potter.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That passage of play was more Kilkenny-like there, Marty, you know, looking up, finding each other. But the Cork backs have been really, really on top today, and they've fought tooth and nail for every ball that's gone in there.
This to level the match for the 6th occasion. Denise Cole to the left of the post, never in any doubt. Sides are level again in Croke Park. When you just think that Cork were gaining a momentum, the spirit of Kilkenny is lit again. Megan Farrell getting 1 point, Denise Cole getting the 2nd. Sides are level again as Cork make changes. Lauren Homan is coming on for Cork, and That will be a change in the Cork attack.
Grace Walsh
going off as Linda Collins.
Grace Walsh has been having a great game, Marty, cornerback. Collins has been taken off there, and she was actually making her way up the field that time.
Orla Cotter winning the possession, and again Kilkenny fouling. Disappointment on this occasion for Grace Walsh. It's a soft enough free to give away, as Orla had the possession here. It's the battle between Orla Cotter and Denise Goal in terms of the free taking. Right now, Orla Cotter is on 4. Denise Goal is on 8. 7 frees. Orla Cotter didn't quite connect this time, and it's a let-off for Kilkenny, and they know it. As the ball was going wide, they were all jumping in the air saying, all right, here goes now. Let's go forward. Short puck out again, working well. And again, it's Anne Dalton. Into the centre, little 1-2. She's on the Cork 65. It's a good ball into the centre. There's a chance here, no hurling. Ball is going forward. There's a chance here. Cork are a little bit under pressure here on the ropes. Ball comes back to Eva Murray, and she deflects it out for a 45. Brilliant goalkeeping.
Aoife Murray showing her mettle in goals again, Marty. She's so brave, got out there, jumped across and flicked it out for 45.
Anna Farrell had a chance here, stopped as the ball came loose. Kilkenny regained it, and Aoife Murray deflecting it out cat-like against the Cats and conceding the 45.
I feel like we could do the goal here, Marty, just to lighten the game up a bit maybe. It feels a small bit dead. I know it's very tense. The sides are level, it's tit for tat, but you know, a goal would make a great difference.
Is sent over the bar. Denise Goal gets her 9 point, and Kilkenny are in front against the wind. About 7.5 minutes left in this All-Ireland final. Ball is pucked out by Aoife Murray. Goes for distance. Grace Walsh is there. Little bit of confusion. Julia White tries to take advantage. Good work by Colette Dormer again. 1 minute she's attacking the ball up front. Next minute she's defending. Ball comes back outside. Good work. White has to recycle it. As Cork go for a score from way out the field, and it's tailing to the right and wide. 12 points to 11. 7 minutes to go. Little bit of concern. He'll remain cool and calm. He knows his team are well capable of getting another equaliser. Puck out from Emma Kavanagh. Cork have the possession.
Cork have been very dominant in the middle third today, Marty. You know, they've won an awful lot of the puck outs. Denise Goal on the ball here now.
Here comes Denise Goal. High challenge by Jim O'Connor. And the referee may well have a word with the Cork centre half back over that challenge. That's exactly what's happening. It was, seemed to be more of an accident than anything else, but the referee is correct. And it was a free. And it is an opportunity for Kilkenny.
I think Kilkenny have a sniff of a win here, Marty. You can see Katie Power, she's going around there, she's trying to G up her players and get Kilkenny going. They'll be thinking of this time last year, you know, it was all very tight and close, and Julia White popped up and got a winning score, so Kilkenny want to get this and shove 2 ahead.
No question, when you look at it from that camera angle, that was a foul, no question. Had to be a yellow card. The clock ticks towards 55 minutes. 60 minutes is the magic number, but there will be extra. There will be time added on. Denise Goal is against the wind.
Pressure free, Marty. You know, coming into the last 5 minutes of an All-Ireland final to put Kilkenny 2 ahead. She's just inside the 65. And, you know, I think she'll make a good go of this.
12 All-Ireland medals, and Downey won as a player. Can she guide Kilkenny to a second All-Ireland title here in the space of a couple of years? But the opportunity is not taken. Chloe Sigerson to Jim O'Connor to Aisling Thompson. Diagonal ball into space, but there's nobody in a red and white jersey. Orla Cronin clearly fouling. And that's going to be Kilkenny.
Kilkenny backs know, Marty, now that they have to run with the ball. They're breaking that tackle, trying to gain the extra yard and get the overlap, because they have very few options up front. So all the Kilkenny backs, the six backs, are, when they get that ball, they're running at the Cork forwards to try and break out of the defence and create an overlap.
And Dalton to take the free. Just inside their own 65. Sends it over towards the Hogan. Julianne Malone leaves it for Katie Power. Julianne is available. Cork for the first time look a little bit exposed as Kilkenny go forward, but look at the spirit of the All-Ireland champions. They're back there in numbers, including Katrina Mackey. Jim O'Connor tries to give it to Orla O'Connor. That's definitely a foul, and that's a free just outside their own 45-metre line.
Great free across the field by Anne Dalton. But again, the Cork backs have been really, really dominant today. They've been so tough. Their hard work, hooking, blocking, getting in numbers. They've been really, really physical in their tackles, and they've been doing really, really well today.
Chloe Sigerson takes the free. 12 minutes since Cork last scored, 12 and a half. They need one now, badly. Is this it? It's Amy O'Connor hitting it high and hitting it over the bar. It's her first point in the All-Ireland final. The St. Vincent star has produced the goods.
And it was that girl, Julia White, who popped up to give her the little hand pass outside.
Sides level in Croke Park for the 7th time. That seemed to me to be frontal charge, but the referee says that it was a Kilkenny player that was fouling. That's Davina Tobin. It's just a free conceded. That's a yellow card for her. It's going to be just outside the Cork 65-metre line. Remember, Cork playing with a swirling breeze to their backs.
Quite a harsh yellow card, Marty, I think, to be honest now. You know, there was 2 Cork players in front of her. She tried to step inside. I don't know. Again, if he let it go, hand pass outside, I don't think Manny would see much wrong with that.
Last year, Kilkenny led by a point. Up stepped Tim O'Connor and Julia White to score not just the equaliser, but the winning score. 12 months later, the sides are level. Chloe Sigerson goes for the... That sails between the posts. It's her 3rd point in the All-Ireland final. All of them from way out the field. But is that the point? Is that the score that wins Cork's 28th All-Ireland title and retains the O'Duffy Cup for the 2nd year in a row? 2 minutes left in the All-Ireland final in Croke Park. The tension is palpable. The excitement levels have certainly increased. But Kilkenny aren't finished yet. Once again, it's Anne Dalton. Crossfield ball, brilliant ball over towards Anna Farrell. Can Kilkenny produce something out of this? Anna Farrell is fouled and it's a free in for Cork. And Laura Tracy is, to say the least, annoyed with the referee.
Now that looked like a free, Marty. We'll just see it here in the replay. Yeah, the hurling around where she was pulled back. Yeah, it was a free in.
Pressure again on Denise Cole. She scored 9 times. This to level the match for the 8th occasion. All of Kilkenny, hopes and prayers, are heading towards Denise. And that is over the bar for her 10th point of the game, and the sides level again for the 8th occasion. It might have been tight, at times very tense, lots of mistakes, stop and start. But now we do have a climax and a finish and a thriller. 13 points Cork, 13 points Kilkenny. 3 added minutes going to be added on at least by the referee. Is there a winner in Cork or Kilkenny? It's Kilkenny that goes into the attack. Long ball up the middle, trying to get that slither into the hand. Good work on this occasion by Pamela Mackey. Hand passing it back. Ferris Chloe Sigerson. Over Ferris Aisling Thompson. Every touch of the ball now cheered by the 21,467 of an attendance. Ball comes over towards Grace Walsh. Gives it into the centre. Good work by Claire Phelan. Back over again for Claire Walsh. Pass was a poor one. Picked up almost by Amy O'Connor. It's bobbling all over the place. Picked up again by Orla O'Connor. Orla trying to kick the ball forward. Kilkenny hanging on. Orla O'Connor goes to ground. The referee has blown his whistle and he's given a free to Cork. And Downey is furious, as you can see, conceding what she would consider not a free at all. And the referee is explaining to Julianne Malone.
Again, Marty, it's the lack of options up the field. Kilkenny pass that ball 3 times within 10 yards of each other because they've no options up the field. They need to strike that ball out of the fence and out of the danger zone. Like anything inside the 65. This free, you know, she's well capable of getting this free.
2 minutes of additional time. 2 minutes. Cork 13, Kilkenny 13. Where will the O'Duffy Cup end up? Orla Cotter stands over this. She scored 4 times, all of them from frees. She's between the 45 and 65, as you can see on your TV screen. She hits it with everything she's got. She's hit it straight between the posts and over the bar. 5 points for Orla Cotter, but is that the winner for the All-Ireland champions? 14 points to 13. 1 minute left in Croke Park. Can Kilkenny produce something out of this puck out? Free to Kilkenny, just inside their own half of the field. Edwina Keane was fouled, and Dalton wants to take it. Just inside her own 65-metre line. She's a long, long way out. This has to be dropped in, and they have to get the possession. People on their feet in Croke Park. She goes for the short ball option. Seems to be a good call. Over for Claire Phelan. Claire Phelan drops it in, and Claire Phelan sends it wide. Cork bench are up. They're looking forward to perhaps this being their day. About 20 seconds left. Is this a repeat of history? Last year, on this day, Kilkenny hearts were broken with a late point. Is that going to be a repeat with that free by Orla Cotter? Can Kilkenny get the possession here? Sideline ball is going to Cork. Tony Murray gives the instructions from along the sideline. Can his team hold on? It's hard to watch, but it's almost there for Cork. Chloe Sigerson is in no rush with the sideline cut.
Additional time has been played now, Marty. It'll be interesting to see will he allow Kilkenny another play.
The referee is looking at his watch. Sideline cut is a long time being taken. That's because this player was down injured. That's Leanne O'Sullivan.
Absolute heartbreak, Marty, if Kilkenny, if they lose this again by point this year. You know, I don't know what to say. It'll be just absolutely sickening.
This, of course, the time will once again be added on for this injury to the Glen Rovers star. Seems to have ankle problems, as you can see.
It'll be some coup if Cork pull this off again, Marty, because they, you know, their backs have played so well today. They haven't let Kilkenny forwards get a sniff of it. Kilkenny have played very defensively. We'll see now will he let this play develop.
The fans can hardly watch. Niamh McCarthy is on for Amy O'Connor. Sideline cut to be taken. Kilkenny just simply have to get the possession here. Sideline ball, they've got it. Now, it's very much at the discretion of the referee. Once again, bit of a rush of blood there to take the sideline cut that quickly, but they have it back again. They're just a few meters in, as you can see, from their own half. Anne Downey has a quiet word. That's Claire Phelan. Sideline cut into the middle, cut out on this occasion. Good work, great work by Aisling Thompson. Free for the Cork midfielder.
There wasn't a Cork player inside the Kilkenny 65 that time, Marty. I'd say there was 15 players behind the ball.
Jim O'Connor going to take this. Still time, perhaps, for Kilkenny to get an equaliser. Still time for Cork to hold on and bring the O'Duffy Cup back to the city and county of Cork. Chloe Sigerson with the free. The referee is going to blow his whistle, and Cork are All-Ireland champions for the second year in a row. For the second year in a row, Kilkenny hearts are broken by one solitary score. For Paddy Murray and his management team, it is a day of joy. The tension was palpable all the way through. That seemed to get a bang in over his eye there, whatever happened, but he will not feel the pain, because the people of Cork will celebrate their 28th All-Ireland title. Back-to-back ice is going to be put on Paddy Murray's eye. Orla Cotter is the hero, her 5th point, all of them from frees, but her 5th was the winning score for Cork for the second year in a row. For Kilkenny, heartbreak. For Cork, tears of joy as Gemma O'Connor wins her 9th All-Ireland medal in the game that she loves. The game, the wonderful game of Camogie. Level 8 times in all, but at the end of a wonderful struggle here, so tense, some free-flowing movement, certainly in the second half. Cork come through by the end of the day by just the narrowest of margins. Were the All-Ireland champions, Anne-Marie?
Absolutely were the All-Ireland champions. Their backs were immense today. Their work rate really, really good. For Kilkenny, just looking out here, utter devastation again for the second year in a row to lose by a point. You know, they were leading at one stage, let that lead slip. Hard to come back from that now, Marty, to be perfectly honest. And they'll be disappointed with how they performed again today. They didn't perform well last year, I felt, and I thought they'd bring more to the game today. Devastation for Kilkenny, but utter triumph and delight for Cork.
You'd have to feel for Kilkenny because they gave it everything. But they did concede a lot of simple enough breeze. And when you're playing Cork and you're Orla Cotter in the opposition, well then you're looking for trouble. They gave it everything. But to lose 2 All-Ireland finals in a row by a point is heartbreaking.
Definitely is, Marty. I've lost 2 All-Irelands in a row myself, so I know how it feels. And it is a bitter pill to swallow, to be honest. And it's hard to come back from that. But look, those girls at the moment, there is no consoling, you know, there's no consolation. It's a very special day for the Murray family today. Aoife Murray, the captain, Paddy, the manager, and 2 other brothers involved in the sideline team. You know, what an achievement by Cork, to be fair. They lost some central players coming into the game this year. I thought we'd see Breach make a bit of an entrance, but no Breach today, and Cork managed to come away with the spoils.
Full-time score in Croke Park. Cork 14 points, Kilkenny 13. Cork All-Ireland champions again for a record 28 time.
Orla, I've rarely seen you this emotional after a match. You gave everything you had, just like the rest of the Cork girls. What's the feeling right now?
It's just incredible. It was so close there throughout the whole match. It was just point for point and it could have gone anyway, so we're just delighted to get over the line.
All-Ireland finals take on a life of their own, and Cork and Kilkenny over the last number of years, it's been nip and tuck, and it was a point separated the teams. I mean, what was the pressure? Talk us through the game.
I don't know, I suppose Kilkenny got off to a good start. They got the first point of the game, and I think it just went point for point throughout the whole game. 8 all at half-time. Just went down to the wire. Could have gone anyway in the end.
The intensity, the ferocity, the hooking, the blocking, everybody gave everything they had today, and even the players coming off the bench for Cork were superb.
Yeah, no, I suppose we've been working a lot at training on work rate and getting any hook or block in. You know, it could be vital towards the end of a game, and I think it stood to us there towards the end.
2 All-Ireland Cups going back to Cork tonight.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Up the Rebels.
Thanks, Orla.
Yeah, what a game Orla Cotter had, very influential today as well. Rena Buckley, you obviously have an awful lot of All-Ireland titles, but to string back-to-backs, how huge a deal is that?
Oh, it's a big deal, you know. It's very hard to, I suppose, to match anyone's intensity, you know. After losing All-Ireland, you're mad to get back to it, and you're eager to get back training, and it's a little bit trickier if you're after a win. You know, we saw the Galway team in the hurling, they were small but flatter this year, and Limerick were, you know, brought a huge hunger to that game. But in fairness to Cork, Cork brought great hunger today, and I suppose they're deserving champions.
An odd game, Ursula, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a strange game from a neutral point of view, and there wasn't really any great flow to it. You know, it was nip and tuck, and we knew it was going to be tight and tense. There were some kind of key players that maybe weren't that involved in the game at times, and look, Cork to me were probably that bit more deserving. There was a bit more structure to their play. Defensively, they were very strong again. Gemma O'Connor and Laura Tracy down the spine again. But look, Kilkenny will be very, very disappointed. Another loss, another 1 point defeat, and look, they'll rue some of the chances.
OK, well, Aoife Murray is wiping away a few tears before she gets a chance to get her hands on the O'Duffy Cup. Back to Marty.
She's about to receive the cup, the O'Duffy Cup, Aoife Murray, in the presence of President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, and on Taoiseach, Leo Varadkar. President of the Camogie Association, Kathleen Woods from County Armagh, will say a few words now and then present the O'Duffy Cup. to the winning captain.
On the wrong side of that 1 point again today. Congratulations to Cork. Commiserations, Kilkenny. You've left it all on the field. Thank you very much for your entertainment and all your this year. To Eamon, the referee, and all his helpers, thank you. Again, a big thanks to Liberty Insurance for all their support and partnership. And there's nothing left for me to say, only to congratulate Cork and to hand the cup over to Aoife.
This is the moment. President of the Camogie Association, Kathleen Woods, presents your Duffy Cup to the winning captain, Aoife Murray from Cork. Cork, All-Ireland Senior Camogie champions for the 28th occasion, 2 in a row.
Úachtar an na hÉireann, úachtar an na Camogie, Taoiseach, agus Cara, tá an ás an Carse Clacker Cocky! It's with immense pride and absolute pleasure for me to stand here in front of some of the best women in sport you'll ever see, both from Cork and Kilkenny. It's an honour for us to play in this great stadium. I hope we did it justice. I'd like to start off the thank yous with a special bunch of people. To the players, to my teammates. We've had to have a lot of difficult conversations in the dressing room and outside the dressing room. But what happens is you have an environment of honesty, and honesty gets you over the line in the very end. I couldn't be prouder right now to represent you girls. I'm so proud of you. I absolutely love you to bits, and I know we're going to make the most of this. I'd like to thank the management team so I could be here a while. I want to start with the back room with Liam O'Reilly and Orla Coughlin. I think we've all badges of honour from Liam at this stage. He's been with us for 2 years, and I thank you so much, Liam. I have to start with my own goalie coach, Teddy O'Donovan. I think he's tried to injure me twice this week. You're an absolute legend, Teddy, on and off. I'm so honoured to call you a friend. I know there's a guy over in Canada, God knows where, that's hopefully watching this. Sean Crimmin, thank you so much. I'm going to start with the 2 new kids on the block, Carl and Sean Goheen. Guys, thank you so much for joining the panel. You brought so much to us. We really appreciate the time and effort, so thank you. To this next particular person, he is not only the physical heartbeat of us, but he really is the emotional heartbeat as well. He's probably one of the most emotional men on our panel. He's tied with Damien. Mazzer, what can I say? Your head might be upside down, but your heart has always been in the right place. I'd like to thank another guy, Niall Collins. Niall's been with us 6 odd years. Paddy had a bit of difficulty working the iPad without you today, Niall. We couldn't have done it without you. The level of detail that you have gone in to us is phenomenal. And you know what? Those last few seconds were thanks to you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Canis Kennedy for all his wise words over the last few weeks, so thank you, Canis. Next guy, what can I say? He does love his whiteboard. The one and only Kevin Murray. Kev, I was so proud when you got involved with us last year. It's taken 2 years to get here. The work that you have done is phenomenal. The attitude has been phenomenal. I know you were hard on us at times, but it was only to better us. So Kevin, thank you so much. Next, I suppose I have to go to the manager. Paddy Murray. I don't know what I can say live on the mic, but what I can say is The work that you've done, that you put in not only to Cork Camogie but also to Club Camogie has been outstanding since I was about 8 years of age. To come here and manage us to 4 All-Irelands when we are meant to be going through a period of no success. Thank you so much for all your time, for sticking with us through thick and thin, through all the negative press, everybody having a pop off you. Thank you so much for your time.
What a proud day for the Murray family, and what a proud day for all of Cork. Champions of Ireland once again in Camogie. Reaction and analysis still to come.
Camogie made me resilient. Camogie made me ready for the real world.
And we'll see you in 5.
What are you doing? 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 What are you doing?
Do what you want to do.
Okay, there's another way you can play it. A minor, E minor, C minor, E minor, of course.
Should be flat and that will stick them together. They don't fall apart. Add them and give them mixed too. Keep stirring until it's all mixed. Keep working on the ingredients. Just don't disturb.
Stick them along the bottom to make the fire. And the stickers without the ring. Now you're ready for takeoff.
With Sky Broadband, your world is limitless. Live beyond.
Clever humans save by switching to Energia for our best dual fuel bundle. Fair play, huh? Unlike this gumbean, who tried to save money on a parachuting experience. Be a clever human.
Switch to energia.ie.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Even the little things can make all the difference. Tesco, every little helps.
This season, red is in. New look, Coke Zero Sugar.
Centrum multivitamins are there for you every day. When your alarm clock has a life of its own, or when the weather catches you out. For every step you take, every memory you cherish, and every celebration, take on every day, whatever it brings. Centrum, be completely you.
Hi guys. I don't want to hide anymore.
With Virgin Mobile, there's nothing hidden. We'll let you upgrade whenever you want. Never lock your phone to our network, and we'll make it clear when your phone is paid off. Virgin Mobile, nothing hidden.
Different. Moving us forward. Striving for better. At KBC, we believe different makes a difference. Sounding different, thinking different, banking different. We're more mobile, more human, more connected. To give you faster, easier, better banking. Because nothing ever got better without doing different. KBC, the bank of you.
Camogie made me resilient. Camogie made me ready for the real world.
Beware, celebrations can be dangerous. This, we believe, is how Paddy Murray picked up that nasty gash over his eye. Don't think he'll mind, though, given that his team is celebrating another All-Ireland title. Congratulations to Cork. But Elaine Aylward, are Kilkenny going to feel hard done by?
I think over the course of the game it was probably nip and tuck, but definitely this decision here, Anna Farrell heading in on goal, her hurl was clearly pulled from her hand. Given the decisions the ref made all day and the calls and the frees he had given, I couldn't see why that one wouldn't have been called, and it obviously would have been a big turning point in the game.
Well, is it definitely a penalty? It's a simple yes or no.
Yeah, definitely. Laura Tracy clearly pulls the hurl from Anna Farrell's hand inside the small square as she's heading for goal. It's definitely a penalty in my book, and it wasn't given. And look, we knew the game would be decided by small margins, but I don't think it should be refereeing margins that decide it.
And this is what ended up winning the game for Cork. You feel, was there not a foul there, Ursula? You feel no, but...
Well, look, I suppose it was a very tight call as well. I probably would have let it flow and see where it would have progressed. I think it's a pity that the game did come down to a free. It was an incredible score by Orla, and Kilkenny were putting huge pressure on her, but I don't think it was really a free either. So, like, there's, you know, from a Kilkenny point of view, you would feel a little bit, you know, frustrated. As I said at half time, there was too many calls that were maybe silly at stages, you know, that kind of way.
But still, Cork took their chances. We saw that typified by that brilliant strike from Orla Cotter at the end when the game, she knew the game was probably on the line.
Yeah, absolutely, and fair play to Orla. She's took over some really important frees today, and Chloe as well. Chloe got some long range frees which were really important to Cork's win today. Look, the game, it wasn't a a humdinger of a game or anything like that, but I suppose I felt that Cork just had that little bit more class, and I always felt it was either going to be a draw or Cork might get over the line.
To be fair, you said that we all suggested a replay was coming, and I think Cork were behind at that stage around 54, and you said, no, I think Cork have what it takes to win.
I thought Cork played with a better plan up front. I thought they were more attacking from the very start of the game. I think Kilkenny went too defensive. There was a period Cork went very defensive as well, but the whole time I just kind of felt Cork were just that bit more offensively. They were a bit more dangerous, and I think that maybe showed just that small bit at the end, but fine margins.
No Breach Corkery on the pitch. We were all very surprised because she didn't even appear to warm up.
No, she didn't warm up. Look, Breach has been a great player for Cork down through the years. I'm a little bit disappointed she didn't come on today. Very special day for her. She won her 7th All-Ireland Camogie medal, and she has 18 All-Ireland medals as well, so she's going to take a bit of pressure off myself. And a special word to Aoife Murray and Jim O'Connor, who both 8th All-Ireland medal, so that's a phenomenal achievement, and they're superstars to have, in our county, in our country,
Poor Rena, it's a terrible pressure to have, isn't it? The only one with 18 All-Ireland
next year, so I wouldn't put it past her either. But look, Kilkenny very disappointing again, and a one point loss. But I think they were, up front, there didn't seem to be any kind of plan or structure. And Denise Gall, in fairness, tried her very best. Anne Dalton was pushing right through from defence, but she just didn't have the support and the players running off her. And I think that's why Cork were that bit stronger overall today. They had the support players and got into the better positions when they needed to.
Yeah, just to wrap up the year, because Cork All-Ireland champions just by a single point over Kilkenny again. Are we going to have a closer one all round, do you think? Are there signs that next year's championship will have even more rivalry from not just the top two?
From this point of view at the moment in time, I think it looks like Kilkenny and Cork are that bit ahead of the rest of them at the moment. Tip would have had a good year this year, but the second year, I suppose, is crucial. They need to build on that. They can't afford to do any less than get to a quarter-final, semi-final again next year. So I think Cork and Cork and Kilkenny are ahead at the moment, and it's up to the others to catch up.
Are you coming back?
Yeah. No. I was just going to say, I'd come in about Galway there. Galway had a fine semi-final. I just think, again, they probably just tactically were a small bit off, but they definitely have the raw material to get up to the top table, and I think Galway could have a big say in next year's championship. Cork and Kilkenny will be there again, but Galway will be knocking around as well.
That's beautifully dodged, Rena Buckley. Thanks very much. That is all for our live coverage of the 2018 All-Ireland Camogie Championships. Thanks to Elaine, to Ursula and to Rena as well. As always, of course, you can join Des from 9:30 tonight for highlights and further analysis on the day that Cork became All-Ireland Camogie champions for the 28th time.
Camogie made me strong. Camogie made me ready for the real world. Liberty Insurance, proud sponsors of the Liberty Insurance All-Ireland Camogie Championships.
Party people in this here spot.
New Rockshore, a light and refreshing tasting Irish lager.
We're a nation blessed with the travel gene. If there are better ways to get around, we'll find them. We're a nation of multitaskers, of food critics, of kings and queens. We're a nation who knows the smartest way to get there. And smart flies Aer Lingus.
Who left? So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Even the little things can make all the difference. Tesco, every little helps.
We'll meet nearly 80,000 people in our lives.
If you can't remember my name, please sit down. If you've never seen me cry, take a seat if somehow we've lost touch.
Do you have a moment now? Only a few become special to us. Stay close. Nescafe Gold. For the moments that matter.
I think I've the flu. Or the bird flu. I don't know which.
It's more an This wee one has been up with a cough all night.
I don't know what this is. Don't know what I did. I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know what's best. I don't know.
Lloyd's Pharmacy. Say hello to the people that know.
Switch on to Virgin Media. Now for just €49 a month for 12 months. Watch all the UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League. Catch every kick, dive, goal and every tantrum. And still have time for all your favourite shows. Change up the game with Ireland's fastest in-home Wi-Fi. That's €49 a month for 12 months. See virginmedia.ie.
At KBC, we believe nothing ever got better without doing different. That's why we offer the lowest rates in town on our 1 and 3 year loan-to-value fixed-rate mortgages. We're different to make a difference in your pocket. KBC, the bank of you.
The Aer Lingus September sale is here. Fly to North America from just €159 and look forward to a happy winter. Smart books now at airlingus.com.
Cyber-terrorism accusations need defending in The Good Fight on the Double Tuesday night from 20 to 10. Now though, it's all-out war between good and evil in the epic finale of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.